if you ever want to create something amazing, go out for a killer workout, go out for a run, go out for something that, and actually like scale it past where you normally would stop. So push yourself and then come back and create, like come up with that program you want or have that conversation that's challenging that you're afraid to have, whatever that is, do it in those endorphins and you create like crazy.
Welcome to Beyond the Scale, the show where everyday heroes share their stories on how they turn their lives around for the healthier. I'm Coach Brittany, and today's guest is Shanda Sumpter. She shares how scaling your life and business all comes down to leadership. Hope you enjoy. Welcome, Shanda Sumpter. I'm so excited to have you on the show today. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you're the queen visionary and founder of Hardcore Business. You're a mom. I mean, you just do so much. How do you manage to do everything that you do and keep pushing forward?
How do I have a leak in my house and live in hotel rooms for 6 days and travel around the world and run a company? You know what? I prioritize like crazy. So I only focus on the step that I'm in this moment, and that helps me reduce the pressure.
Okay.
So I'll give you a quick story. So every year I have really 3 big nuggets that I want to create. And I never go over that. If I do, I start to spin. So I'm a typical entrepreneur. I create things all year long, and then they get taken off the list all year long because we go back to our core 3 bullets that we want to create inside the year. But I'm like super simple. I create like a wall size Post-it. There's like these huge wall size Post-its that you can stick on the wall. And I put my 3 things on it. And last year I had an interesting scenario where I actually put those bullets in my bedroom so I saw them every morning when I got up. And I felt pressure. I felt stressed out. And I literally was like, why do I feel stressed out? And it's because they're not like 3 goals. They're like 3 massive goals, like grow the company by another 5 million, like, add, a, operations team in this division of the company or whatever, right? It's like they're huge goals that feel like a lot. So when I looked at them every single day, they felt like mountains. They felt like 3 huge mountains that I could never accomplish all of them. And so what I did was I simply covered 2 of them with paper. It's kind of a Brendan Burchard move where I covered 2 of them with paper and only had 1 that I focused on. And all of a sudden the pressure started going away. And so that's what I've done over the last, 8 years of growing this company is I've really just focused on 1 step at a time. So that means that somebody just said to me the other day, you're so balanced, because I took off 5.5 months last year. And they're like, you're so balanced. And I'm like, I actually don't believe in balance. I believe that priorities shift.
It seems like although you work a lot, it seems like you do live a great life. A lot of our listeners at home, are still trying to strengthen their mindsets. What are some of the biggest struggles that you've had in life, and how did you overcome those?
I think I faced the same struggles that anybody faces. I didn't know if I could do it. My goals and my dreams were never as big as they are today. Again, $5,000 a month versus now I want to grow $1 billion company. And I didn't have the capacity to hold that back then because I think we're all just facing our own self inside of our minds on a regular basis. So, I got really, really conscious about just focusing on the step I'm in. I mean, I know it sounds really simple, but if you can keep the stress level down and not worry about like the full scope of the picture, I think that you can accomplish anything. Now, I've gone really hard on personal development. Like leadership is something that I focus on all the time, so much so that I actually purchased the personal development training that I did like years ago. I actually brought it in-house and invested in building that out inside of my company because it was so useful. Like I sent 144 of my clients last year through a leadership training that wasn't mine because it's that important. And I didn't take a commission. It was like, you'll only go as far as your personal development is. So if your personal development stops at, I can't charge that amount of money for my services, or I can't be a mom and a business owner, or, oh my God, I'm so overwhelmed, I can't meet my girlfriends for lunch because I've got a million things to do. And when you're operating on that, that's a personal development thing. Because the truth is, Sarah Blakely, who owns Spanx, has become a very influential person in my life. And when I text her or call her, it's like I like what she handles is way more than I handle. And so I know there's another mom out there, in her case, with, an army of kids and an ambitious husband that isn't exactly supporting her like the traditional way.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And so all the things that we stop at, that we really use as our limiting beliefs, but let's just be really honest. They just haven't figured out the strategy to get past that. So as long as you give power to that is true, that I have to stop because I don't have support. And money, I don't know if I'm allowed to swear, so I won't swear, but money is a BS excuse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it really is. So as an entrepreneur or as anybody creating anything in life, like beyond scale, it's beyond what you think is possible. And so I never have the amount of money, as much money as we make every single month. I never have the amount of money that I want for the next jump. And so you create it the same way when I started at the very beginning, when I lost my homes. Like I lost 3 homes into foreclosure. And the minute I got over the guilt and the shame of losing the homes, I realized the opportunity. So the minute you let go of the limiting whatever, which the limiting thought was, I'm a loser, I'm losing these homes, and I even actually sold real estate at that time. Talk about, I was absolutely embarrassed and shameful. And I remember going through a Starbucks talking to my stepfather, who is very, very wealthy. And he said, let all your property go. He said, the market's crashing, let it go. You're going to have 7 years of bad credit, which means you have 7 years of learning how to create cash flow before you're back in a position. So there's an advantage because you have to do it. You're not going to be able to rent a place without putting more money down. You're not going to be able to buy a car. You're not going to be able to buy a house. You're not going to be able to do any of that stuff unless you create cash flow. So you're going to learn. And boy, did I learn, right?
Yeah.
So when I let go of the shame, I realized, and that's the same as letting go of the belief that your husband or your wife doesn't support you, or you have a coach that doesn't give you the right strategies. Like you generate your own value no matter where you're at. So once I let go of that, I realized the opportunity was, at that time, you could live in your house for up to a year before the bank actually came and took it away because they were so backlogged with all the real estate going under. So I was like, I have no overhead. I can build my company.
There you go, right?
So,
I love that, though, finding opportunity in all the failures. Because there's always opportunity.
There always is. We hear it when we read or study the most wealthiest people. It's always like the wealthy get wealthier when the markets crash. And it's like, yeah, but so if you take that into a simplistic, the present moment thought, then every breakdown you're in has an opportunity. And if you were to look at the opportunity, that's going to have you skate through the problem much quicker and skyrocket or scale in your guys' wording.
Yeah. Now, what role does fitness play in your success?
If I didn't have endurance, I don't think as quick. So in the last year, I've been trying to have another baby, and we have gotten pregnant twice, and it hasn't stuck. And so I've slowed down on my training. In fact, I was saying to my husband last night, I was like, I feel like a little tubby. And so I slowed down on my training. And last week I was sitting with our controller of our company, and we were making some decisions for, pricing and stuff like that as we roll out some campaigns. And I was like, give me till Friday. And she looked at me and she goes, it's so weird. You used to make decisions so fast. I'm like, my endurance is down. You know what I mean? I have more people in my company. I have more people to help me. But there's just if you ever want to create something amazing, go out for a killer workout, go out for a run, go out for something that, and actually scale it past where you normally would stop. So push yourself and then come back and create, come up with that program you want, or have that conversation that's challenging that you're afraid to have, whatever that is, do it in those endorphins and you create like crazy. So yeah, it's huge. It's everything, actually. It's my secret weapon.
Would you say that you would be able to obtain the level of success that you have without having mentors and coaches in your life?
No. I think my mentors I should say really there's been 3 that have influenced me. I think skipping around from mentor to mentor is dangerous. I think it's better to stay with a mentor long term. I have a friend who has coaching clients for 17 years, and his clients are, doing insane numbers. Like we're talking 300 million, 500 million, like they're doing insane numbers, but they've been with the same coach for 17 years. Now you've got to know that that coach or that mentor, their coach's mentor, it wasn't like every year was firing on all cylinders. The coach went through growth, that would have changed the dynamics of the relationship, and the people do. And so when you look at all of that, I think there's a power to staying with one coach and bolting on a couple coaches for some specialized stuff. But every great person has a mentor. I mean, that's what I've experienced.
No, yeah, absolutely. I think having a support team, mentors, like all of that is very important to obtain any success, whether it be in health, fitness, business, whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I have a fitness coach. I have a spiritual coach that helps me pray. I have got a business coach. And I think that's it right now.
So, I mean, a lot of people make mistakes in life, even when, trying to lose weight. What are some things that you do when you face failure, and how do you overcome it?
Same thing that I said. I really do look for the opportunity in the moment. And I don't just say that. If you were to, ask Bedros or ask any of my friends, I really do walk the walk behind closed doors. That's why, I'm not the person out there saying, build a business or build a company or build a lifestyle that gives you freedom, and then I don't take off time. So when I look at, actually, I was just saying this online at 6:00 this morning. I was just saying, my biggest breakthroughs have been in spaces of giving. My most lucrative, campaigns or even fulfillment strategies inside of Heartcore Business, which is my company, Heartcore Business. Mm-hmm. They've actually not come from a strategy on a wall. It's come from helping someone, either helping someone in my company develop and help them create their vision inside of our company. Through that, I created an information product that 47% of the people who buy it actually mentor with us at a high level. I never would have created that if it wasn't for her. I would have created another info product, but I wouldn't have created the one that did what it does today because it was in service to someone else. So when things are not going so great, I just look at the fact that I'm focused on me, and I just intentionally redirect my focus out. And what happens is I come up with a solution. Just try it. Whenever like you're feeling a little tacky or a little emotionally triggered, or something's just not going your way, or you're like, this is entirely too hard. There's got to be an easier way to do this. Just stop and realize how much of your day you're focused on yourself. And even if you're working, it's like still on yourself. Like you can't give to get, mm-hmm. That's a marker. So if it's like, oh my God, I turned myself inside out, and at the end of the day, I've got nothing left. It's like, that's a martyr. Like someone who gives generously, it opens up these strategies inside your head and inside your lifestyle that just don't exist without you giving.
And now, as busy as you are, you still find time to work out. How is your health as far as diet and nutrition? Are you able to stay on track with that, or do you find yourself struggling ever?
Yeah. So Craig, who works with Bedros
Valentine.
a lot, I hired Craig last year because I obviously know what to do in my schedule, but my schedule got tapped where I was finding myself on the beach with my son in transition time. And he's 3 years old now, so he was 2 last year. And I was walking the beach, and I still had my phone taking pictures and, posting it on Instagram. And then I realized, oh my gosh, I'm not even connected to my kid anymore, because even though I'm not technically in the office working, I'm still kind of social media working and text messaging people and things like that. So I hired Craig, and I think that investment, it was a $25,000 investment, and I needed to do the $25,000 investment to keep to the schedule. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And one of the things that we did was we had my assistant call DoorDash to bring in healthy food to my office. And that worked for a while, but then I got bored of the healthy food restaurants. So I actually hired a chef. And so I hired a chef that comes in twice a week and cooks for us lunch and dinner. And it's all farm to table. So nothing's bought in the grocery store, and it's just super good. So, and super healthy. So that's how I keep that in check. Okay. I forgot I actually do have another coach, and I also have a nutrition coach.
Okay.
And I meet with her pretty much almost every week just because we're dialing in my hormones and things like that. So again, none of these things get done without a mentor, I don't think. Not to the same level. There's a power in investing, and especially if you can't afford to invest. That's like the best results you'll ever get is when you can't afford to invest.
Get that skin in the game, and then you have to be dedicated to it.
Yeah, I invested $100K this year to coach with a coach that I only get to meet 3 times for 2 days. And I don't even get to meet him like one-on-one. It's me and like 60 other people. And I'll honestly tell you, like, just that type of investment up-levels your whole game.
For me, myself, I'm mentored by Bedros, and I agree. Like, I would not be able to be where I am today without him and guidance. So I agree that mentors are super important. Now, what is the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
That's a tough one. Gosh, there's so many great pieces. I think believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because, and believe in yourself could look like, again, just taking it back to business because I do business, you have to believe in yourself that you can create the dream that you want. And of course, there's a moment where you don't. And so you have to get good at enrolling yourself in believing in yourself. So, like, I remember charging my first amount of money for someone to coach with me way back when I started, and I didn't believe in myself. And so I had to believe in the fact that I would give them back their money, and I believed I would do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you got to find a way to believe in yourself. And so even though I couldn't believe in, I didn't know if I could help people get real results. I'd never done it before. So that would have been just positive thinking. And there's a difference between positive thinking and believing in yourself. One has power and one has hope. And hope is great, but you got to get to power to be able to create. And so, I just literally, I enrolled myself and I said, you know what, Shanda, if they don't get the results, you can give them back their money. All right, I can do that. Like, I believe in this strategy now. I believe in myself. And so let's do this. And then I did it.
That's awesome. Now, do you see, as you continue to get more and more successful, do you continuously see your self-image change?
Yeah. Great question too. Well, here's the cool thing about getting more and more successful. You take off more and more hats. So that's a win. A lot of people think you get busier. You actually take off more hats. And if you do it right and you're hiring great leaders around you, whether it's someone to, like, we have a nanny, but the nanny doesn't raise my child. So the nanny helps me around the house. The nanny does the dry cleaning, does all the errands. If I get stuck in a meeting, she'll pick our son up. But honestly, it almost never happens. Truly, I think it's happened 3 times ever. But it's good to know she's there.
Right.
So it's like wherever you're hiring in your life, you're hiring somewhere. Nobody cares if you cook the dinner. Nobody cares if you scrub the floor. Your kids do remember if you had enough energy to go hang out with them on the beach or go to Disneyland or whatever that looks like. So, my image changes. Your worthiness changes. You start to believe you can change the world. And that is such a cool feeling, to really believe that you can do that based on the fact you keep keeping your word to your visions and your dreams.
Yeah, I love that. And that's how you continuously, find more and more success, change more and more lives out there. And at the end of the day, you are changing the world. And I know you're going to continue doing that. So, thank you for everything that you do.
Thanks.
Now, going back to mentors real quick, if someone wanted to find, their first mentor, life mentor, fitness mentor, what would you say is the most important thing to look for in a mentor?
Forbes just did a whole article on me on this. So, a couple things. Find a mentor that actually has the full lifestyle you want.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of, here's the great thing about the internet now. There are a lot of really good mentors. And there's a lot of crappy ones that are doing the smoke and mirror thing, but there's a lot of really good ones. And look, because their clients are posting online how great they are. Like, look for reviews about them, things like that. And you'll see there's always going to be haters with every mentor because they're taking a stand. So if they've got raving fans and screaming haters, that's actually a great sign that you've got a great mentor on your hands. And so now look, do they have the lifestyle they want? Because like Gary Vee's a great mentor, but Gary Vee's like hustle, 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 hustle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like for a woman that wants to have a family, it's like, wait, like hustle's great, but I'm going to take off time and be with my kid. Like I'm in that season and that's priority. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, you got to find the mentor that works, because if you don't, your mentor is going to get inside your head. And when they get inside your head, you could be running a strategy that isn't the lifestyle you want. So no matter what, whether, don't hire a weight loss, coach or mentor that is training you to be, a fitness model if you don't want to be a fitness model. You know what I mean? Like one that's like, I sacrifice every piece of chocolate to look like this. Like if that's not your vision, then find somebody that, really has the vision. Like, I had one of my clients, I was going to do the whole food diet once, and she was like, then you're going to be such a drag going out for dinner with your husband. And I'm like, that's so true. Like I never thought about it like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, my friend JJ Virgin, is like, you can't drink that wine because there's toxins in it, but here's organic, no phosphates, sulfates wine. You know what I mean? So it's like, but she'll still have a piece of chocolate, and she'll still, you get what I'm saying? So you look at the mentor that has the lifestyle you want, that you feel like you could sustain it, because putting in the amount of effort it's going to take to get whatever result in your life, you better be heading towards an end result that you want versus, I hit my goal and now I'm going to regress back because I don't want that life.
I think that's a great piece of advice in finding mentors, because I know a lot of people, they want to find a mentor, they may not know how or how to find the right person. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, stalk us.
Now, what does living beyond the scale mean to you?
Beyond possibility. You know what I mean? So, we actually had Bedros on our Coffee with Shanda, and we have lots of times. And, I asked him, I said, Bedros, how come you scaled faster than me? And he goes, well, you're still doing, I guarantee you're still doing some things inside your company that are not your job description. They're not they're not the big dials that move the company forward. And you got to know your role in your game of life or your game of business. Right? What's the role you're playing in each area? So again, if it's a mom or a wife, what are the big dials that move your marriage forward? What are the big dials that move your parenting forward? What are the big dials that move your business forward or your fitness forward? Not how do I do every aspect of the job to be able, because I do it all. Like, you know what I mean? You got to lose that attitude. And he was right. I was still signing checks. You know what I mean? Like I was and it's like, so, and he made that point. He's like, you're still like signing checks or doing payroll or something. There's something you're still doing that I'm not. And I was like, you're right. And it really came down to my leadership. And so, beyond the scale is really about the fact of, or living beyond the scale and scaling your life up has everything to do with what dials are you paying attention to, which comes down to your leadership. At some point you have to realize that I'm not going to say you can't do it all. You don't want to do it all. If you want, Jesse Itzler's a great friend of mine. He wrote the book Living with a SEAL. He's also Sarah Blakely's husband. And, Jesse talks about that next gear. Well, here's the deal. I think he's got something like 27 or 25 summers left before, if he passes away at the average age of a man, that's not very many. You know what I mean? I got, 25 summers left? That's going to, when you start to look at your life like that, you want to scale. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
You want to scale. If you, what are you doing if you don't, so you've got
Why are we wasting time?
That's right. I get hyper-focused on what are those big dials in all areas of your life. That's a great vision plan for people to do so that you scale in those areas and let go of the other things and stop being controlling.
Thank you for sharing all of that, Shanda. It was awesome having you on today. If any of our listeners wanted to work with you or your team or learn more about you, where can they go to find you?
heartcorebusiness.com, or you could always stalk us online.
And we'll make sure we put the links in the show notes for you guys. And for those of you at home, if you are ready to find a fitness program that works with your busy schedule and you're ready to take, success in all aspects of life to the next level, make sure you check out fitbodybootcamp.com to find a location near you and claim your 3 free workouts. Until next time. Did you know that you could have done a full workout in the amount of time it took you to listen to this podcast? Go to fitbodybootcamp.com to claim your 3 free sessions now. And remember to join me next Tuesday so you can see who our special guest is. Until then, remember to live a fit body, fit mind forever.